G'day guys, my name's Dave and welcome to another Guitar Zero to Hero song tutorial. In this lesson, I'm going to teach you how to play More Than a Feeling by Boston, which is an awesome track, got a lot of cool guitar parts. So I'm going to teach you all the rhythm on the acoustic and I'm going to teach you all the lead parts as well, including the solo on the electric guitar. Now for the basics of this song, you'll just need your guitar in standard tuning. If you want to master your chords back to front, then be sure to head over to guitar0tohero.com to pick up my free guitar ebook. Or if you want to improve in your guitar in general, then sign up to Guitar Zero to Hero Premium, which is my complete step-by-step guitar course. Let's jump into the lesson. Okay, so let's start with the verse riff, which is quite short, but a lot of fun to play. So we're going to start with a D sus4 chord shape like this. So it's the same as a D, except you're going to take your pinky finger and put it on the 3rd fret of that first string. Now, for our first 4 plucks, we're going to pluck the 4th string, 2nd, 3rd, and then 1st. And we're going to play that with a down, up motion. Now for our second 4 plucks, you're going to hit the bass note again, so the 4th string. And then at this point, you're going to lift your pinky finger, so it's a regular D shape now. You're going to pluck the 1st string, the 2nd string, and at this point, you can lift your index and middle finger from where they are. Keep your ring finger where it is, and you're going to hit the open 3rd string. So those last 4 notes. Now the suggested picking direction is below the tab, and you don't have to play it this way, of course. However, I believe that this is the most efficient way of playing these picking patterns. So follow them if you can. And all together for this first bar. And then for our second bar, as you lift your middle and index finger, you're gonna slowly get them into the next position. So your middle finger will need to go onto the 3rd fret. So this will form a rough C-add9 shape. So you'll just need these 2 fingers down, and we're going to be plucking the 5th string, 3rd, and then 2nd. And then we'll change positions. So index finger now goes on the 2nd fret of the 5th string. And we pluck the exact same strings with the same motion. So down, down, up. And then your free middle finger will go onto the 3rd fret of the 6th string. And just 2 more plucks here. So the 6th string and the 2nd string with the down up motion. So just 3 chunks there. And we string that together, and this is the second bar. And that's it for the verse. So we put it all together and it'll sound like this. So next we get to the pre-chorus, and there's 2 lines of tab here. So for the first bar, it's identical to the first bar of the verse. So we've already learnt that. But then when we go to our C-add9 shape, we're going to change it up a little bit. We're going to play this chord shape for the full bar. So it's 5th string, 3rd, 2nd, 3rd, and then 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 2nd. And you can break this up into 2 groups of 4 notes if that's easier to digest. And then you go to a G/B shape. So index finger on the 2nd fret of the 5th string, and you can put your pinky finger down now onto the 3rd fret of the 1st string. And we're going to pluck the exact same picking pattern here. For the second line of tab, we're going to go to an A-7 shape like this. So index finger on the 1st fret of the 2nd string, middle finger on the 2nd fret of the 4th string. So we're going to play this A-7 chord shape. We're going to pluck the 5th, 4th, 2nd, and then 4th string for this A-7. And then we're going to take our free ring finger and put it on the 3rd fret of the 6th string. You can lift your index finger now. So this is an G-add6 shape. And you're going to pluck the 6th string, 4th string, 2nd, and 3rd. So that bar in total. And then we go to a D chord, and you're going to pluck 4th, 3rd, 1st, 2nd, and then you take your pinky finger, we go to a D sus4, and we're going to pluck 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th. So that bar. And in total for the pre-chorus. And that's it for the pre-chorus. So next we get to the chorus, which is quite easy. It's quite rhythmic as well. We just want to strum some chords. So there's 2 lines of tab. We're going to start with the G bar chord like this. Now you don't necessarily need to hit the full bar chord. We only really need to focus on the top 3 or 4 strings. So that's why in the tab I've just shown us strumming up to the 3rd string. So this is a G chord, and we're going to strum this with down strums on the 1, 2, and end beat after the 2. So it's 1 and 2 and on the 3 beat we can just do a mute. And to mute, you just lift your fretting fingers off the strings so that when you strum, it's just that percussive sound. And as you strum that, you'll get into your next position, or slide into your next position, which is a C chord. So same shape, just up at 8th and 10th frets. So 1 and 2 and 3. And on the end beat after the 3 and the 4, we're going to strum this C chord. So it's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then for the second bar, we're going to go up to an E minor chord shape like this. So it's the same shape as that major bar chord, but we shift it down 1 string and back 1 fret. So this is an E minor shape, and our strumming pattern changes here a little bit. So it's going to be a down on the 1 beat, and then on the end beat after the 1, we're going to do a quick muted down up. All right, so again, to do that mute, you just lift your fretting fingers off of the strings. So you're no longer pushing down the strings, you've lifted them, so you're making contact with all the strings, and when you strum, you get that muted sound. So it's a down up there, and we've got 2 down strums on the 2 beat, and on the end beat after the 2 as well. And that will sound like this. Down, down, up, down, down. And then after that, we have another muted down, up. And as you do that, you'll shift your index, pinky, and ring finger down 2 frets to this D power chord. And you're going to strum this on the end beat after the 3, the 4 beat. And on the end beat after the 4, you'll go down 2 more frets to the C power chord and hit that. So this bar is a little tricky, but it will sound like this. Down, down, up, down, 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 up, down, down, down. And one more time. Down, mute, mute, down, down, mute, mute, down, down, down. And a little faster. So just take that slow in order to get those mutes correct. And altogether, the first line of tab will sound like this. And a little slower. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now just practice that slow and then build your way up to full speed, which will sound closer to this. And you're just going to repeat that first line through a few times. And for the second line of tab, the first bar is identical to the first line of tab. For the second bar, we go to this E flat power chord. So that's on 6th and 8th frets on the 5th string. And we're going to strum that and hold that out. And that's it for the chorus. Okay, so next we get to post-chorus number 1. And there's 2 lines of tab here. So we're going to start with an E minor 7 chord shape like this. So it's same as an E minor, but you then put your pinky finger on the 3rd fret of the 2nd string. Now we're going to strum this 3 times, once on the 1 beat, once on the 2 beat, and on the end beat after the 3. So the first 2 strums are down strums, and that 3rd strum is an up strum. So 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and then we're going to go to an A chord. So just keep your pinky finger where it is, just shift your index and middle down, because we're going to start with an A sus4 chord shape. So that's on the down strum. And then on the next up strum, you're going to go to the regular A. And then on the next up strum, lift your ring finger, so it's A sus2. And then on the next up strum, go back to our A. So that's the second bar. And then we go to a G, and we're going to strum this on the 1 beat and then up strum on the end beat after the 2. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and the final line of tab, we're going to hit a G and then a D/F sharp. So just take your middle finger, put it on the 2nd fret of the 3rd string. Your next finger now goes on the 2nd fret of the 6th string. So that's D/F sharp, and then we go to an E minor 7. And you can just strum them all down strums. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and that's it for the first line of tab, which is just chords strummed, and the suggested strumming direction is shown underneath the tab as well. So it will sound like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And then for the second line of tab, we're going to go to our D chord shape. You're going to start by plucking the 4th and 3rd strings together, like that. And then 2nd, 3rd, 2nd twice, then 3rd, and then 2nd string. And then you're going to hit the open 5th string. So all of that in total. As you hit the open 5th string, start getting into your C add 9 position, because that's up next. So that first bar in total. Then we go into that C add 9 shape, and this second bar is identical to the second bar in the verse, so we already know how to play that. And you're just going to repeat that again for the 3rd and 4th bars. So post-chorus 1 in total. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So that's it for the post-chorus 1. Then we have another verse, another pre-chorus, and another chorus. And we get to post-chorus 2, which differs from post-chorus 1 a tiny bit. So we're going to start with the same first 2 bars. So it's the E minor 7 and the A's that change from A sus4, A sus2, and A. So that sounds like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. But then we go to a B minor. Hold that out for 1 beat, and then on the 2 and beat, we're just going to start palm muting here. So just focus on the 5th and 4th strings there. So 1 and 2 and now to palm mute, just take the fleshy bit of your palm, rest it really lightly on the edge of the bridge, and when you strike those 2 strings, you'll get that muted sound. Too far in, nothing will ring out. So it needs to be right on the edge of that bridge there to get that nice mute. So after that B minor, you go down to an A5, so you can just put your index finger on the 2nd fret of the 4th string. We're going to strum this down with 4 palm muted downstrokes, 3 and 4, and then we go to a G chord, and you're going to focus on the 6th and 5th strings with 4 down strums, again palm muted, 1 and 2 and then our D/F sharp, 3 and 4 and then we go to A sus4 like this, and you're going to strum this just at quarter notes, and you're going to start building up here. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and then we go down to a regular A and do the exact same thing. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So all in total for post-chorus 2. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2. so now we get to the solo rhythm section. So this is where the lead guitar solo is being played, but I'm going to teach you the chords first that you can strum on the acoustic. So there's 3 lines of chords here. I'm going to start with a D and G. Now those 2 chords are contained within one strumming pattern. So that strumming pattern is just a simple down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. And we play them for the same lengths each. So you can just change chords on that 3rd down strum. So now for the next 2 chords, we have D/F sharp, and then we go to an A chord. Now you can play the A chord like this, or you can just bar your index finger across the 2nd frets of the 4th, 3rd, and 2nd string. It's up to you. Our strumming pattern is going to change a little bit. It will be down, up, up, down, up. Now where we'll change chords here is on the highlighted strum. So that's on the 2nd last up strum, which sounds like this. Down, down, up, down, up. And then for the next D and G, it's back to the original strumming pattern. And then we have D/F sharp to A again, but we are switching where the chords are going to change. So it's the same down, up, down, up, down, up. But now the chord change happens on the 2nd up strum. So that will sound like this. Down, up, down, up, down, up. So that's it for the first line of chords, which sounds like this. Then for the 2nd line of chords, we have D and G again for that normal strumming pattern. Then we have B minor to A, and the point at which we'll change chords here is on the 2nd last up strum, so down, up, down, up, down, up. And then we go to a D to B minor, and that's played for the regular strumming pattern. And then we go E minor to A for the regular strumming pattern as well. So all together for the 2nd line of chords. For the 3rd line of chords, we go to a G. I'm going to strum this with a down, up, down. And then we have G, D/F sharp, and E minor 7, similar to what we had in the post-chorus. So the 3rd line of chords, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 2 and 3 and 4, and all together for the bridge. So those are all the chords for the solo rhythm. Our next section is post solo. So it's similar to some of the parts that we had in the post chorus, or the 2nd liner tab in the post chorus. So we're going to start with this D chord shape. I'm going to start by plucking the 4th and 3rd strings, and then the 2nd, 3rd, 2nd string twice, 3rd, 2nd, and 3rd. So that's the first bar. And then after that bar, we're basically playing that 2nd liner tab in that first post-chorus. So we've already learnt that. So that will sound like this. And those 2 bars are played through twice. So the guitar after the solo sounds like this. And then after that, we're just going to go back into the verse. And then after that final verse, there's a verse break, which mixes things up a tiny bit. So 2 lines of tab for the verse break. The first line of tab is identical to the verse, so nothing new to learn there. But then when we get to the 2nd line of tab, we're going to mix things up a tiny bit. So for this first bar, almost everything's the same up until the last two notes. So we have, so when we go to our D and we hit that first string, this is where things change. We're gonna hit the open fifth string and then the second fret of the fifth string. So that's where we differ here. And then the second bar is identical to the regular verse. And string those two bars together. And for the third and fourth bar, that's just the regular verse. So the verse break sounds like this. Then we have the final pre-chorus, or pre-chorus number 3. And this differs from the other pre-choruses. So for this first bar, we're going to play essentially the exact same thing that we had in the second line of tab for our verse break. So the altered verse, essentially. And then we go to our C add 9. And this is essentially the same as our regular pre-chorus where we go. And then our G/B. For the second line of tab, we go to our A-7 to G, add 6, so that's the same as what we usually have in the pre-chorus. But then we go to our D, and then we're going to pluck the 4th, 3rd, 2nd, and 1st strings, hold that out, and then 3rd, 2nd, 1st. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and you do that twice. So that's it for pre-chorus number 3, which sounds like this. And after that, we get to our final chorus, and you're just gonna basically play that first line of the chorus through till the end of the song. It fades out. So those are all the rhythm parts that you need to learn for this song. Okay, so now I'm gonna teach you how to play all the lead guitar parts on the electric guitar. Now, all the tones that you hear in this lesson are recorded using the Boss Katana Mark II. If you want the tone patch, I'll leave that in the link in the description below. But basically, I'm using a Brown Sound amp channel. I've got quite a bit of gain. I've got a treble booster on. I've got a chorus, delay, reverb, and also compressor. So quite a bit going on, but it does result in a pretty cool tone. So let's start with the pre-chorus riff. Now we're going to start on the 12th fret of the 2nd string. Now what you're going to do is hit that and do a half bend. So with the half bend, you're going to match it to a pitch that's only 1 fret up from the original note. So if you want to practice this, then hit the 13th fret. That's your reference note, and then hit the 12th fret and try to bend to that. So it's a really slight bend. So we're going to start with that. And then we'll hit the normal 12th fret. And then you'll hit that 12th fret and bend and release. So that sounds like this. Then you go down to the 10th fret. Then we do another bend and release. And then we'll go back down to the 10th fret and hammer on and pull off to the 12th. And then end on the 12th fret of the 3rd string. So in total, it will sound like this. Now I'll teach you the harmony to that pre-chorus lead riff. So this is optional if you want to layer it on top, if you're doing a multi-track recording, or if you're playing the second guitar part. So we start with the 12th fret of the 3rd string. And now you're going to bend this up with a full bend, so it should match the pitch of the 14th fret of the 3rd string. So we start with that bend, and then we hit the normal 12th fret. and then we're going to do a bend and release, and then we go down to the 11th fret, and then we go back up and do another bend and release, and then hammer on 11th fret to 12th fret, hammer on and pull off, and then we end on the 12th fret. So that's it for the harmony, which sounds like this in total. Okay, so next we get to the solo, which is a lot of fun, and it's actually not too hard. But there's 3 lines of tab here. So we have 3 lead-in notes. We go on the 3rd string, we go 6th fret, 7th fret, and then 9th fret. So, and then we go up to the 7th fret of the 2nd string, and then 2 notes here, 7th and 8th. And then back to 7th, but hammer on and pull off really quickly. And then 9th fret of the 3rd string, and 7th fret. So that phrase. And then to end this phrase, we're going to hit the 8th fret of the 2nd string and bend that up. That's a full bend, and ideally you should do that with your ring finger. And a tip for bending is that you should actually use your middle finger as well to help push that string up. So utilize more than one finger. If you're just doing the one finger, it's going to be a lot harder. So that run in total. And together with the lead-in notes. For the next run, we start on the 7th fret of the 3rd string, then the 8th fret of the 2nd string, then 7th fret, then we go to the 5th fret and hammer on and pull off to the 7th fret, and then end on the 7th fret of the 3rd string. And there's 2 more notes here, the 5th fret of the 2nd and 7th fret of the 2nd. So this run in total. For the next run, we go 7th fret of the 3rd string, 8th fret of the 2nd, hammer on and pull off from 7th to 8th, 9th fret of the 3rd string, 7th fret, and then we go up to 9th fret. We're going to do a full bend and release, so that run in total. And then for our next run, we go 7th fret, 6th fret, and then we go 7th fret of the 4th string twice, 9th fret of the 3rd, and then up to the 7th fret of the 2nd. So that chunk. And that's it for the first line of tab, which sounds like this. For our second line of tab, that first bar is identical to the second bar of the first line of tab, so nothing really new to learn there. So that bar. But instead of bending up the 8th fret, we're going to go up to the 10th fret and bend that up for a full bend. So to start this second line of tab. And then you're going to hit the 10th fret just regularly, then 8th, hammer on 7th to 8th with a hammer on and pull off, then 9th fret of the 3rd string, and then up to 7th fret of the 2nd string. So that run in total. Then for the next run, we go 7th fret of the 3rd string, 8th fret of the 2nd, down to 7th, then hammer on and pull off from 5th to 7th fret. Then 7th fret of the 3rd string, and then end on the 5th fret of the 2nd string. So that run. So for our next phrase, we'll go to the 7th fret of the 3rd string and we'll hit that and slide up to the 11th fret. And then you're going to go to the 9th fret, hammer on and pull off to the 11th, then 7th, then 6th, and then end on the 7th fret. So that phrase. And in total for the second line of tab. Now, to continue on the 3rd line of tab, our next phrase, we're going to go up to the 14th fret of the 2nd string, hammer and pull off to the 15th, then 16th fret of the 3rd string, and then go up to the 17th fret of the 1st string, hit that and bend out a full tone. So that final lick. And then to end this, we're going to play some chords. So G chord, D/F sharp, E minor 7, and then end on a D. So the final line of tab. And in total for the solo. Next, I'll teach you the harmony that's actually played behind that main solo. And this is cool if you want to multi-track or you're the second guitarist playing this lead riff. So this second guitar actually sort of joins in midway of the solo. And we start on the 12th fret of the 2nd string, and then hammer on pull off on the 10th fret to 12th, then 12th fret of the 3rd string, 11th fret, and then back up to the 12th fret. We're going to do a full bend and release. And then 11th fret, 9th fret, and then 11th fret of the 4th string twice, 9th fret of the 3rd, and then end on the 12th fret of the 4th string. So that whole phrase. And then it picks back up on the bend of the other solo, but we're going to go to the 17th fret of the 1st string here and do a full bend. And then we go down to the 14th of the 2nd string, 12th, and then hammer on and pull off from 10th to 12th, and then 12th fret of the 3rd string. So that phrase all together. And then that's it for that section until the very end of the solo, where we're going to do a hammer on and pull off from the 10th to the 12th fret of the 2nd string, and then 12th fret of the 3rd string, and then we go up to the 14th fret of the 1st string, and then we're going to do a half bend there. For that final lick. So those are the harmony parts to this main solo. In the playthrough at the end, I'll just be showing you the main sections tabs, but you'll be able to hear these harmony parts in the background behind the main guitar. The next lead lick I'm going to show you is played in the verse break, just before the final chorus. So we're going to start with the 9th fret of the 3rd string, and this is going to be pre-bent. So you're going to start bent, and then you're going to hit it, and then slowly release on the next 2 notes. And again. And Now, in order to get that same feel, you're gonna have to actually play this with staccato. So when you hit that note, mute it straight away with the side of your palm. So, and then same thing applies with the next two notes, but as you hit those notes, you are dropping that string. So that third time, you don't have to mute it, just the first two times. And then as you release it that final time, you're gonna hold it and bend it back up to that pitch that's the same as the 11th fret of the third string. So in total. And then to end this, we have a final bend. It's 10th fret of the second string. Okay, so the final lead lick is in the final pre-chorus, and it's just an extension of the other pre-choruses. So I'm going to start with the 12th fret of the second string. We're going to start with that half bend, back to the normal 12th fret, then hit that 12th fret, bend and release, and then go to 10th fret, hold that out, and then we're going to hit this 10th fret and hammer onto 12th, and then go back to 10th, and then hit the 10th fret again, and then hit the 12th fret and do the bend and release, down to the 10th fret, hammer on and pull off, and then end on the 12th fret of the third string. So this final lead line. Now the harmony is going to be similar, but on the third string, we start on the 12th. We're going to do a full bend here, and then go regular 12th fret, then bend and release, then 11th fret, hold that out, hammer onto 12th, back down to 11th, that 11th fret one more time, and then 12th fret, bend and release, hammer on, pull off from 11th to 12th, and then end on the 12th fret. So altogether, the harmony. And those are all the lead guitar parts that you need to learn for this song. So now I'll be doing a full playthrough of the song, and I'll have a vocal track on top for some context. Big thanks to my friend Eric for lending his awesome vocals to this playthrough. Feel free to play this back as many times as you'd like to practice, play along to, and see how you go. Thanks so much for watching. If you've enjoyed this lesson, then I know you'll absolutely love these other lessons too. So hit the link here, or if you want to grab a copy of my free guitar ebook, then head over to guitarzerotohero.com or click the link here. Thanks so much, and I'll see you guys next time on Guitar Zero to Hero. Cheers.